These Zoom meetings are terrible, aren't they?
So, Councillor Moran, I might just get you to put your phone on silent for the moment.
Okay. How I do that, I'm not sure.
Because it's got a feedback.
Oh, okay. How do I do?
No, need your photo.
Okay, we're live.
Okay. Jenny, I can't see everybody, so you need to tell me if we've got quorum or not.
Okay, why is that gone like that? I might just stop sharing the resolutions document. That might help us all. Sorry. Is that better, Lord Mayor? Can you see?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, we're good.
We're good to go? All
Thank
right.
you.
So, members, we've only just got quorum.
We don't have to speak.
So if I lose any of you, we have to stop the meeting. Members, I declare the special meeting of Council of Wednesday the 23rd of December open and advise that this special meeting will be streamed live to the City of Adelaide website and recording will also be published to the internet. Please note that an audio and visual recording is being taken of this meeting. That means that your presence at and any contribution you make to the meeting may be collected, used, disclosed or published publicly by the Council, including transfer outside of Australia. Acknowledgement of country. Council acknowledges that we're meeting on the traditional land of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains and pays respects to elders past and present. We recognise and respect their cultural heritage, beliefs and relationship with the land and acknowledge that they're of continuing importance to the Kaurna people living today. We also extend that respect to other First Nations and other Aboriginal language groups who are present today. I have 2 apologies. No, I've got 3 apologies actually. So I've got Councillor Abrahimzadeh is an apology for this evening. The Deputy Lord Mayor, Councillor Kouros is an apology and Councillor Ho was an apology. Did we have any other apologies? Jenny?
Can you see me?
Councillor Knoll is also an apology now. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you.
Just don't take on that.
Motions. So we will go straight. I'll wait for you to put that up on the screen, Jenny. So we have a item 3.1 is a motion on notice to amend part 1 of decision of council from the 15th of December 2020, proposed event in the Parkland RCC 2021. And I will look for I invite Councillor Mackie to move his motion. I also have Councillor Hyde's hand up. So Councillor Mackie, go to you first.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, council colleagues and members of the administration. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Councillor Moran, I do need you to put your phone on silent because it's interfering with, it's bouncing. Thank you, Councillor Mackie.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. As you and elected members are aware, I called a special meeting and the motion as printed, which was set ahead of negotiations and further discussions, proposed a trading times to midnight each day of operation. If I have a seconder, I will be seeking leave of the chamber, the virtual chamber, to vary those trading hours.
Okay. I have Councillor Hyde's hand up. Councillor Hyde.
Oh, I just had an alternative, but as this is being moved, I'll do it as an amendment, I guess, Lord Mayor.
I think it's an alternate motion rather than an amendment. So, Jenny.
Through you, Lord Mayor, can I just clarify? As Councillor Mackie has to move the motion for which the meeting's been called, which is that the original amendment that was published in the agenda.
Okay, so I'll go to Councillor Moran to second the motion.
Correct.
And then Councillor Hyde can move his alternate motion. So Councillor Mackie, it's been seconded. Did you wish to speak to it?
Thank you, Lord Mayor. And in speaking to it, I wish to seek leave of the chamber, the virtual chamber, to vary the trading hours that were contained in the original motion put on the agenda to read as follows. Approves RCC 2021 to operate between Friday the 19th of February 2021 and Sunday 21st of March 2021 in the southern half of Victoria Square, Tartanyanga, with trading times to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, in brackets with the exception of the long weekend Sunday to midnight and Friday, Saturday to midnight. And if Councillor Moran as my seconder is happy to consider that, then I seek leave of the chamber to accept that variation.
Councillor Moran has indicated that she's happy to second. Did you wish to speak to it?
Look, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor. And look, Lord Mayor and council colleagues, I appreciate that here we are almost on the, well, we're on the eve of Christmas Eve, and that this is not a good time to do things, but it is also not a good time to leave things as they were, which would be unviable for the producer of the Royal Croquet Club RCC for Victoria Square. There was a lot of confusion at the meeting last Tuesday, and I, for one, apologise that there was some miscommunication regarding the hours that would render this project workable from a business plan perspective. The hours that were contained in the report to council were what there should have been a variation at that meeting to take those hours into account. I'm doing so now, granted at the last minute, but I also appreciate that the promoter of the event, Mr. Roberto Cardoni, has a level of urgency to enable the finalisation of arrangements for this, and I'm very pleased. I also want to acknowledge, Lord Mayor, that Deputy Lord Mayor Mary Kouros has engaged quite extensively over the last week with a number of stakeholders, and as I gather also Councillor Hyde has done. I believe this, at this time in the 2021 Fringe, will be an important additional element to the vitality of our city, and I'm very familiar now, even more familiar than I was last week, with the efforts that Mr. Cardoni has gone to absolutely assure that this project this year is very, very different to the projects that have been a part of the Fringe and part of the city since 2014, and that have been a considerably significant contributor to the box office outcomes for the Adelaide Fringe and, of course, the city attendances and vitality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mackie. Councillor Moran, I'm losing you from the screen a few times there. Did you wish to speak to it as the seconder? I need you to take yourself off mute.
Yes, look, I've got nothing to add to that, but I'd like to move that procedural motion that the motion be put.
Through you, Lord Mayor, sorry. Councillor Moran, you've seconded the motion. You're unable to do that.
Yeah.
It would need to be somebody else.
Sorry, I actually have, the next hand I have is Councillor Hyde and then Councillor Simms.
Yes, thank you, Lord Mayor. I have an amendment to move to this motion.
Jenny, are you able to put that up on the screen for everybody to have a look at?
Share screen. Can everyone see that now? It's now procedurally there are some issues with this. Would you like me to explain those now, Lord Mayor, or?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So thank you, Deputy Lord Mayor, for sending that around beforehand. Parts A I guess we just need to clarify which parts you are actually moving, noting the variation that is above in terms of the time. So whether, in fact, parts A, B are relevant still. So there's that. There's also parts C, D, and E are okay as an amendment to the motion. Parts F, G, and H should have been brought on notice for it to be a valid amendment to this motion, because we are amending an existing decision of council, and we need 5 clear days notice for that. So parts F, G, and H would not be okay, and part 2 as well. And then part 3 is already part of the existing decision. So noting that the only part that can be amended is part 1 of the decision, which is what is before you, and that relates purely to the time. Only parts A, B, C, D, E are appropriate.
That's fine, Jenny. Am I able to seek taking for parts 1G and 1H and part 2, which is around business and precinct engagement, etc.?
That would be up to Claire and Mark. So I'll leave that with. Is Claire able to clarify that? So sorry, Councillor Hyde, which part? Sorry, and I'll highlight them for you if you like.
So be undertakings, if possible, for 1G, which is regarding development of a business and precinct engagement plan, H, which is about activation of Guja Street, and 2, which is an evaluation sort of after these have all concluded.
So what are you looking for, Jenny? Because I would need a seconder for that amendment.
Certainly. So I think, sorry, through you, Lord Mayor, I think we just need to first of all establish through Claire if that is an okay undertaking, and then I understand that then it wouldn't form part of any amendment. If it's an appropriate undertaking, then Councillor Hyde will take that offer for his amendment. So we just need Claire to confirm that, if possible.
Deputy CEO.
Hello, through the presiding member. We can certainly include a requirement around a precinct engagement plan. That's obviously consistent with our existing requirements for any event to engage in the precinct within which they're operating. I'm more uncomfortable to take an undertaking in relation to activating Guja Street along the same lines as the East End. Guja Street's quite a different area with different businesses, with different visitation. So to do that as an undertaking, I'm probably less comfortable to do.
So if I have it clearly, parts A and B are not required because they're already part of the motion. Jenny, I'm speaking to you.
Sorry, correct. That's correct, Lord Mayor.
So if you can delete those so we know what we are looking at. So they are already within the motion. Parts C and D and E, and F, which are about the amplification and bond, are they acceptable or not?
Not part F, which is about the bond, as that is introducing another.
So C, D and E are. So if we can take that out, F and C, D and E, if we can highlight so that we know that that's the amended part. Perhaps not in the same colour as the others.
Yes, sorry, my bad. Oh.
Thank you. We have an undertaking for part G from administration.
So we'll remove that.
So you can leave that one. Thank you. And but there's not a level of comfort to do the same as the East End. I actually think that is underpinned by the same principles, is not requiring it to be the same as the East End, but the principles about in terms of collaboration with traders, and that everybody can actually use the street to the advantage of their trade, as opposed to doing the same thing. But
yeah,
I will look for clarification on that one.
if this goes ahead as it is, then that can also always be brought on notice in January.
Correct.
So
Okay.
that's fine.
So we might lose that one, Councillor Hyde. Now, part 2, was that an undertaking, Jenny, or was that able to be put in the motion?
That would have to be an undertaking, Lord Mayor.
We can actually bring that through. Councillor Hyde, are you happy to bring that through as a motion in January?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so if we can take that out. And part 3 is necessary as part of the motion. So we're happy to accept that as part of a variation or amendment to the motion?
No.
Original.
Sorry.
Was that in the original?
Yes. So we don't need that. Yep.
All right.
So we can take that out too.
So thank you. It still needs to be in the motion so it's in the original motion that we're moving. Okay. So part 1. So just so that we're really clear on what we're moving is that we're approving that the trading times to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, with the exception of the long weekend, Sunday to midnight and Friday and Saturday to midnight. And we are looking at the amplification Sunday to Thursday ceasing at 10:30 p.m. with amplified music on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays that precede the Monday public holiday to cease at 11:30 p.m. and that the amplified music step down will apply from 10 p.m. on those nights, which basically just means the sound gets turned down a bit, even though they can still have amplified sound and, of course, acoustic sound and everything else they might want to do. Is that correct? I'm just making sure I've got that correct for all members. Yep. So, Jenny, if that's going through as an amendment, I'm now looking for a seconder to that amendment.
That's correct, Lord Mayor.
Okay. So I know I've got several hands up, but I'm actually looking for hands down so I can get a seconder for that amendment. So, so Councillor Mackie, your hand's still up, but you can't second the amendment. So Councillor Kerr, are you happy to do that
Lord
one?
Mayor, I'm raising my hand to ask a matter of process or procedure.
Okay, so I'll just stop there. So I've got Councillor Kerr as the seconder to that change, and Councillor Mackie, I'll just go to you to clarify something.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Lord Mayor, a question to the administration. As the subject matter of the variations that Councillor Hyde has moved and Councillor Kerr has seconded bear no relation to the substance of the variation that I was seeking, which was simply about the hours of operation. My question is that not a different matter and should have been put on notice?
Jenny, are you able to talk to us? I think we know we've deleted the things that need to be put on notice. The other one is an amendment to the first part, which is an additional consideration for the first part, but I will go to governance to clarify.
Thank you. Through you, Lord Mayor. Because it relates to time still, and that is the reason for this amendment to the original decision, it is an appropriate amendment, but only because insofar as it relates to the time, that is why.
Okay, thank you, Lord Mayor. I'll, if I can leave my hand up and have an opportunity to speak in my turn.
Absolutely, thank you. So, Councillor Hyde, if you would like to speak to the amendment.
Yes, thank you, Lord Mayor. This is a fairly straightforward, noting that it's taken a little bit at this point, but what is the component?
Sorry, members, if I could ask everyone except for Councillor Hyde to put their microphones on mute. Thank you, Councillor Hyde.
What it does is give the proponent the vast majority of what they need, while at the same time balancing the interests of those businesses around them. So this goes over and above what was originally passed on Tuesday and provides music, amplified music, and also trading. So noting that in chatting with events people, one of the biggest issues was around the timing of shows at the end of the night. This allows for extra shows to be fitted in. Now, if it's the case that this business model is predicated upon drinking with loud music, as previous RCCs have been, then perhaps even though this is only half an hour short of what the proponent requested, it may still be unworkable for them. If in fact this version of the RCC is more so about fringe acts, activation events and selling fringe tickets, then having this, which will allow for more shows to be put into the program, should assist in making it workable for them. Look, in finishing, it's very straightforward. This is a compromise position in order to try and help everyone succeed. There is a chance that it still may not work, but look, as someone who cares about the businesses in that area, noting that it is bricks and mortar businesses who stand to lose by having this activation in their backyard, they're the ones who I'm ultimately here for, and I think most of us are here for, and they're the ones that I'm most concerned about coming out of a pandemic where they actually haven't been able to trade for the last 12 months. So that's my concern. I hope this balances and addresses that. Also, undertakings around business engagement and further activation are excellent. And if this amendment goes ahead, then we can look at activating Gouger Street in a similar fashion to the East End. If this amendment doesn't go ahead, I'll be quite frank with you, I'll be leaving the meeting, and I hope my seconder leaves the meeting as well. That will ultimately remove the quorum from the meeting, and you won't be able to proceed. You will be stuck with what happened on Tuesday, which was, of course, when we had the entirety of the council present. This is a compromise. It's a good compromise. It's only half an hour and 7 decibels for an hour less than what the proponent requested. It's balancing the interests of all of those in the precinct and seeking to make the most of the situation. And of course, we note that those stakeholders need the ability to rebuild trust here in this event and in the council in approving this event. This is what I hope will be the initial step along the lines of activating this part of the city with fringe events and hopefully with the RCC well into the future. But we need to be able to get it right. And I think this motion does that. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Khera, and then I have Councillor Mackie and Councillor Simms.
Thanks, Lord Mayor.
Khera? Yeah.
Thanks, Lord Mayor. I'll keep it brief. I just wish to echo the statements by Councillor Hyde. I think this is, speaking for Central Ward, I think this is a sensible compromise. It is not a major compromise for the proponent, in my view, but let's not forget, Central Ward has hotels, has residents, and has other stakeholders whose concerns, whose issues with this are not illegitimate. I would exhort, I would plead with other councillors that this is a really, that this has been brought in good faith. I'm supporting this in good faith, and I think we do desperately need this compromise to allow goodwill to be established between this event and the people who may be affected. So please put aside the politics, is what I would say this evening. Let's just support this. This is favouring the initial proposal, but it's doing so in a rational and measured way, taking into account the whole issue. So please, let's do this without politics.
I've got Councillor Moran shaking, but I've got Councillor Mackie and then Councillor Simms, and then I'll go to you, Councillor Moran. I can't hear you, Councillor Moran, you're on mute. Councillor Mackie.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Look, I had something else to say, but I have to honestly register. I'm flabbergasted and completely shocked that Councillor Hyde is threatening the collapse of a quorum of this meeting if he does not get his way. That, Lord Mayor, I believe would be a breach of the Local Government Act, and I'm shocked. I am deeply, deeply shocked.
Councillor Simms, I've got you, then I'll go to Councillor Khera with a question.
Can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you. Thank you, Councillor Simms.
Thank you. Look, I also want to express my dissatisfaction at the turn of events that we're seeing here. My understanding was this motion that's been put forward, this alternative motion in effect, was developed as a result of consultation. Yet there seems to have been no consultation with administration because we've been told that most of the motion is ultra-virus or sits outside of what we can deal with tonight. There's certainly been no consultation with myself as an elected member of this council. I don't know whether or not there's been any discussions with the proponents or anyone else. So, you know, a motion's not meant to be some sort of secret Santa thing that's sprung on you when you step into the meeting. It should have been sent to us some time ago, as Councillor Mackey's was, which was the actual rationale for this meeting. So I'm really unhappy with this turn of events. I also find it absolutely extraordinary that a member of this council would say, if you don't pass my motion, I'm going to pull quorum and collapse quorum and in effect try and blackmail this council. I do believe that's in contravention of the Local Government Act. It's certainly not making decisions in good faith. And I, like Councillor Mackey, am absolutely stunned and very concerned about the anti-democratic approach that represents and the dangerous precedent that would set for this council. I'm not going to be bullied, Lord Mayor, into backing an amendment that has been sprung on me at this meeting without the benefit of any consultation or feedback. And to be told that this is a compromise and we just have to vote for it, and if you don't like it, the meeting's going to collapse, I think is really, really appalling. And I'd urge councillors not to...
So I take your umbrage, but do you actually, in terms of the amendment before you, do you have any discussion on the amendment?
Well, Lord Mayor, I don't know the nature of the substance of what's being proposed in terms of how that sits within the community and the views of the proponent and others, because it's been sprung on me just before the meeting.
Okay. I'll go to Councillor Kerr. A question, because you have already spoken, Councillor Kerr.
A point of order, Lord Mayor. Councillor Simms attempted to have the motion be put and attempted to crush debate on this matter just now. So that would be a perfect reason for Councillor Hyde to put forward the position that he has, I would submit.
Okay, that wasn't a question. Members, is there any other speakers? Councillor Moran.
Yes, just to clarify that point earlier, it is a breach of the Local Government Act, and if the junior member does indeed do that, I will be putting a complaint tomorrow into the Minister. It is blackmailing people. It is a shocking blight of character on something like that. I move that the motion be put, the amendment be put.
Jenny, given Councillor Moran is speaking to the amendment, can she put the motion?
Yes, correct. She just need a seconder.
Do we need a seconder to put the motion?
Yes, thanks.
I will look. Is that Councillor Martin? Are you looking for the motion to be put? I'm sorry, I can't see everybody on the screen. So,
collapse the quorum.
So, Councillor Martin, the question was, are you seconding the motion be put?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Members, the motion be put by show of hands, physical hands. I cannot see all the screens, Jenny.
Motion be put, yeah.
So, Jenny, I cannot see the screen.
You can't see the screen? Okay, I stopped.
Greg's not voting for it.
Okay, members, I ask that the motion be put. Those in favour of the motion before you?
Thank you.
Through you, Lord. This is
the motion to vary or the
This is the motion.
No, just that it be put, Greg.
Correct.
This is
a motion to put.
So, members, I'm asking if the motion be put. You have to vote that the motion be put.
This is the motion to vary, Lord Mayor, is that correct?
No.
No, this is the motion to be
This is the
put.
motion to be put.
Okay.
So, I cannot see all the hands before me. I've got 4.
Correct. 4 hands. That is carried.
That is carried.
Now you
Thank
vote
you,
on
members. So we now ask that the motion before you, the amended motion before you, is put to the vote. Members, those in favour, there's no more discussion. Those
I'm
in
trying to
favour.
clarify, Lord Mayor. Are you talking about Councillor Hyde's amendment? We're voting in favour or against that? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Members, those in favour that the amendment goes through? Those against? So that is lost. So then we go back to the original motion, which is Councillor Mackey's motion. Members, if you're going to vote or discuss, thank you.
Sorry,
Councillor
Lord Mayor, we
Moran.
just need to check quorum.
I move that the motion be put, Lord Mayor.
5, 6.
No, well, actually, my motion
We've lost quorum.
Members, I would strongly suggest you keep your microphones on silent. Members, I'm sorry, we have lost quorum, therefore the meeting will be closed. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening.